I'm going to tell you my favorite sandwich experience ever. I was about 13. Me and my dad were working at a construction site. 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, and my dad comes up to me. He says, John, do you want to go for lunch? I say, sure. You know, I'm hungry, I'm fat, I want food. So he's like, okay, you want to go for a sandwich? I say, sure. I'm like, do you want to go to Subway? He's like, no, I got a special place I'm going to take you. And he has kind of a smile. I'm like, interesting. Okay, so we park into his truck and we drive down, like probably about 5 minutes down the road to this big industrial park area. And you know, I don't expect to find a sandwich place here. Pull into a little tiny like parking lot. And in between like these two big buildings, there's this little tiny deli. But it's busy as fuck. Like there's people lined up out the door, right? So my dad's like, oh, it's really busy. Do you want to stay and wait for the sandwich? I'm like, sure. Well, I'm hungry. And we finally get into the sandwich place. And behind the counter is this little Lebanese guy. And he's saying the most fucked up shit I've ever heard in my life. He's saying like, you know, I fucked my brother and like I was a sex worker. And he's saying this shit about how his like cock doesn't work. So I'm listening to this and I'm also enjoying the smell. Like this place smells amazing. It smells like every deli you've ever been to, but better. And we finally get up to the counter. I'm pretty fucking nervous. I'm 13, very shy. I'm very introverted at this point in my life. I'm not like the person I am now. So this guy, he looks at me. He looks me up and down. He says, what's up, big boy? You want mayo in your bum? I say, huh? He says, do you want mayo in your bum? And I'm like, what? So at the time, what he's meaning, he's asking if I want mayo in my bun, but he says bum. I'm like, no, I don't want mayo in my bum. He knows that I'm confused. So he's like, oh, okay, so you want me to go on dry? And I'm like, sure. And everybody's kind of chuckling and everything like that. I'm embarrassed as fuck. I'm like bright red. He goes over to the sandwich place and he starts throwing ham and cheese and you know, salami and like a little bit of mustard on there. And then out of the corner, somebody says, hey, sandwich guy. And the sandwiches guy, he's like, hey, fuck you, bud. And the guy's like, no, fuck you, man. Hey, have you got that tail dealt with? And I'm like, what? And everybody in the sandwich shop is like, huh? And in between that time of the guy yelling about the tail and everybody kind of like not knowing what was going on, the guy literally whips his pants down, past his ass cheeks. And at the top of his crack, there's the tiniest little bone fucking flesh thing. And it's a fucking tail. I shit you not. He had a fucking tail. And at the end of the thing, when we get to the end of the counter, there's a little fund. There's a tip jar. And it says tail removal fund. I'm not fucking kidding. I know the guy now, actually, and he did get the tail removed. So, like, I'm scared shitless at this point, right? Like, I'm fucking freaking out. Like, I just saw this guy's ass. His little tail, his fucking crack, everything. And I'm like, this is the guy that's making my fucking sandwich. So we get through the line of the people, and finally we get this sandwich. Hands it to my dad. My dad pays for the sandwich. And this thing is fucking huge. Like, when he hands, it's like a hefty fucking thing, bro. And he looks at me and he gives me a little wink and nod, right? And I'm like, get me the fuck out of here, right? We get out of the fucking place. We take the truck back to the site. And my dad opens this fucking sandwich. It's huge. It's from here to here. That's how big it is. It's a whole French loaf. It's fucking massive, bro. And it's cut in half. My dad gives me half. The first fucking bite of that sandwich, I've never had a better sandwich in my fucking life. At this point in my life, I've had like Subway. I've had like, you know, shitty fucking like deli meat. This was fresh. The cheese was good. But I didn't get mayo in my bum. Not only was the sandwich good, but the experience was just wild. I still go back to this guy every fucking year, dude, because they're just that good.